Hare Krishna, welcome back to my channel. I am Radhika Piyari and today this particular video is also inspired by the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami, who mentions in his Nectar of Instruction or Updesh Amrita two verses which will emphasize how the power of speech should be utilized and what kind of effect it has. We all know that how speaking certain way, speaking to others or using certain words can either inspire, make a person's life, heal someone, or it can completely break the other person. Shastrically, it has been mentioned, but at the same time, also from the karmic point of view, if you will see, whatever way a person speaks, the past karmas, whatever he or she has done, which is called the fruitive, ripened karma, they have to bear in the present time. But whatever a person does in this particular time, which actually starts from the mind and then it goes to the speech and then it goes into action, that determines our future life. This is called the Kriyaman or the ongoing activity which we are doing. And it is all happening because of how a person speaks and what kind of words a person utilizes. In order to give more strength to this particular topic, I will be first saying the verse of Updeshamrita, the first verse, which Srila Rupa Goswami explains. Vacho vegam manasakrodha vegam jivaha vegam utrapastadhira etan vegayo vishhit dhira sarvam apimam prithvim sashishyat. So in this, the very first word which Srila Rupa Goswami actually speaks about is about Vacho Vegam. Vacho Vegam. Vach means speech and Vegam means the urge to speak. So Parikshit Maharaj, during the time of his last 7 days when he was about to die, he actually asked question to Srila Sukdev Goswami that how a person commits sins on the strength of performing austerities, on the strength of performing or chanting Lord's names. How does this atonement works? Because we have seen in many other sects also, in these sects, what happens is people commit sins on the strength of doing some kind of austerity or doing sins and then atoning it. So how does this atonement work? Srila Sukadev Goswami in that actually explains that a person can atone for the sins what they are doing or for whatever activity they are doing. The atonement only works when the person, after atoning and realizing through knowledge that this thing is wrong, understands it and then implements it. It's not bad that if person is sinning because of his activity or because of his urge to not able to resist something. But after doing that, if that person is not able to atone and come to the knowledge that he or she doesn't have to repeat it again, then that is like an elephant bathing. Like we know the example where how an elephant goes to the pond, he puts water on its body and then again goes into the sand and then puts dust. So it is like that kind of activity. So Srila Sukdev Goswami actually also explains that there are three and different degree of people, different levels of people who understand by different ways. The very first, the person who is actually more understanding, who is the most intelligent, is that person understands the knowledge through hearing. When he hears about the experiences or when he actually sees what implications certain activity or certain way of speaking can do, then that person learns. Some people do not learn because this particular learning is said to be first class learning. The second kind of individual is where they need to see other people going through the hardship and then they will actually learn. And the third and the last, the very low way of understanding something through atonement or through some performing some certain kind of thing, is where a person will do some kind of sinful activity. They will again and again repeatedly do, and maybe someday they will understand that part. So these are different ways through which Sukadev Goswami explains to Parikshit Maharaj that how a person learns. Now about the urge of speaking, Srila Rupa Goswami explains that everyone loves to speak. Everyone actually loves to speak because if you have a mouth, you have a tongue, you want to speak, right? But what does a person speak? He explains about In the verse, he's explaining about a person talking Krishna consciousness or about Krishna conscious principles or about ethics of life. Okay, so in the verse, he's explaining, in the purport, he's explaining that whenever a person utilizes his speech or her speech into a higher purpose, then that particular speech becomes meaningful because it is used for the society and for the benefit of the society. But as soon as a person uses their speech to make other people feel down or some kind of nonsense, then that particular thing is not beneficial for the person itself and for the better, and it's not even for the betterment of the society or other people. Now, why it has been said in this particular manner, Srila Rupa Goswami actually explains this through one of the examples. A toad or a frog, he's croaking in a pond or a lake. He's croaking, he's thinking that he's going to invite eventually a potential mate. But actually, it is not like that. His croaking is actually not inviting a potential mate. What it is doing is that it is inviting the snake. The snake actually comes to know that there is his prey, which he can actually feed upon. So that is what happens. The reason why this example, this connection is given is because the croaking of the toad is kind of related to speaking nonsense. Speaking nonsense means to not talk something which can actually benefit others, which can actually benefit your own self. And it will not also benefit the society at large for a longer time. So, on this basis, it is understood that whatever speech a person is using, in what manner that person is using, it will make a lot of impact, especially if that person has some influential power to him or her. Through the power of speech, there are ways an individual can heal the other person. There are ways an individual can manipulate other individual and even say or badmouth things which can actually affect the reputation of other individual without even the third person knowing if that person really is like that or not. Perception of an individual is changed based on the speech. When there is no authenticity in the speech, when there is a constant nature of lying or hiding, if there is a way a person wants to hide something, to hide one truth, the person says another truth, covers it with another thing, covers up the intentions with other thing, then that is going to never always remain intact. It's always going to come up. And especially for devotees or sadhakas who are into Krishna consciousness, this thing has been always a constant thing, that if we are doing something inauthentically, or we are having this inner trick or inner nature where we want to indirectly, subconsciously gossip and harm other people, then it's going to come back to us. Now, shastrically, there is this point, but karmically also, if a person is speaking something and the intention is not to harm, sometimes what happens is that, like in the stories of the Mahabharata, Krishna says to Yudhishthira Maharaj to hide from Dronacharya that Ashwatthama, the elephant, is killed. The reason why he wants him to lie is so that he can protect and win the war, so that he can actually become victorious and protect dharma. So the intention behind lying was to not cause harm. But if the intention behind hiding anything or anything is deceit, is to harm other individual, is to cause issues, then that is going to bring negative and potential vikarma. Vikarma is actually bad karma to the individual who is doing it. Now, being said that we are living in today's society and today's world where we all want to talk and express our feelings about something wrong happening, and many people are very expressive and they want to speak a lot of things. Maybe there is authenticity, maybe there is no authenticity in that, but people love to speak. If you are belonging to any kind of spiritual community or any kind of community, how this kind of thing can be controlled, or how it can be actually understood. When you are living in a community, when you are among people, there are bound to be clashes, unnecessary clashes. Some people will be dragged unnecessarily into clashes, and there will be a complete disaster of the entire scenario. So, Srila Rupa Goswami, in his Updeshamrita, in the fourth verse, he's actually explaining a very beautiful thing. Because I'm talking about Vaishnava relationship, devotees relationship, and mostly the devotees are the one who are actually seeing this particular video. I will share about that particular verse which Srila Rupa Goswami speaks about. So it's dadati prati granati, guhyam akhyati prachati, bhunkate bhojate chaiva, sadvidim priti lakshanam. Here, Srila Rupa Goswami is explaining the 6 ways of loving exchanges between devotees. And in this, there are different things like offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, offering prasadam, and accepting prasadam. And then the most important, which is actually connected to this video, is actually about revealing one's mind in confidence and inquiring about confidential topics. Now, what does this mean actually? So, especially when we are in a community, there are so many things which happen between people, and you are bound to share with someone who actually can help you. Uh, when you are revealing your mind and what way we are revealing, whatever we are revealing, there is a purpose. If you go to someone and you say that I have something to ask to you because I am feeling completely confused about my situation and I want you to help me, can you please help me? And then this will be about another individual, and you will express that part. Now the other individual who is there, first of all, that person should be in the place to critic and guide you, to show you your fault, and at the same time not be too much involved into getting into the emotions about that particular thing which has been coming to you. When a person is going to another person to seek advice, the biggest frustration for the bearer, the one who is hearing you, is that if you are asking something and if you're getting knowledge through their time and energy you are taking from them, then you need to implement whatever they are expressing to you, whatever they are giving it to you. Now, why it is that is because you are going there, you are inquiring, especially devotees or sadhaka. The reason why you are going to another individual is so that that person can help you to enhance your Krishna consciousness or your bhakti. Okay, as a human being, as like practicing sadhaka, not having the complete purity, you may discuss stuff and you can share, or we can share things with other individual. But the reason behind that sharing is not to gossip or create a section of being together and isolating others, or teaming up or doing something against the other individual. The purpose of this is that so that you can inquire, you can get an insight, and then you can work on yourself. And if you see that if there is something which is coming an obstruction between you and Krishna as a Krishna consciousness, then you take a stand for it, because the urge to speak can actually cause issues to that individual in the future run, because initially that game can work, but later on that same game turns against us. So, having the higher knowledge about how this particular speech can be used for the benefit, for inspiring, for encouraging other people, and for our own growth in Krishna consciousness has to go through austerity. The urge to speak can be controlled through the austerity of accepting prasadam. Prasadam, where it is offered with a complete pure consciousness towards Krishna. Whenever you want to speak something or anyone wants to speak something, there has to be a pause. What I'm saying, is it going to be beneficial? How much authenticity this particular thing has? How much maturely are we taking this particular individual or the things which are happening? How further is it going to benefit me or anyone else? This is the whole thing a person has to see. Maturity into the urge of speak is one of the most important thing a person can, because when a person speaks, it completely defines what kind of character they possess. The way they speak, the way they look down upon other individuals. Now, my profession is actually as an astrologer, as an occultist, and I speak to a lot of people. My job is actually not just to see people's life and destiny, but it is also about helping others find hope. And same it goes with spiritual life. When you can be there for individual through your speech, not sugarcoat, but there to show them real hope. Because anything superficial which has been done, it will be there and then it will fade away. But anything which has been done is tangible. It can actually reach the heart of the individual, deep, deep, and it will stay for long. There are some individuals which I have not known in person, but I know that some way or the other I have impacted their life. Not saying that I'm something great, but yes, learning this thing from the scriptures, trying to imbibe little bit. I think I can say 2% or 3% of whatever Srila Rupa Goswami or any Vaishnava saint are saying in my life has really impacted so many others. Of course, there will be always haters. There will be always people who will have problems with you, irrespective of how much good you are doing, irrespective of how much good you use your speech. But when you stand in front of Krishna, you know that you have used your tongue for the right purpose, for helping others, for serving the higher goal, the higher scenario. So this is how the power of speech can actually impact other individuals. So this urge to speak, try in one's own life to have a pause. Try to talk, even if it is about a regular mundane topic, it's about relationships or anything, try to see how it's going to benefit. Be authentic. Be authentic. Even if you have to hide something, say something which can cause issues, then put in front of you what is the intention. Go with a clear heart to be there for individuals. And especially a practicing sadhaka, these things, if a regular individual does it, it is understandable because they don't have higher knowledge. But if these things are committed by a sadhaka, like backbiting and gossiping in a way that which can cause harm to other individuals and all these kind of scenarios, then that can actually be very displeasing to Krishna. And it will be displeasing in such a way that this bhakti which we have got, it can drift away from our lives slowly. Because if we are causing harm to other individuals to be away from Krishna and cause harm to that person so that that person is discouraged to be in Krishna consciousness, then just imagine the aparad. Aparad, the meaning of aparad is what? Aparadha. Radha means Radharani, going against Srimati Radharani. Going against the will of Radharani. So we have to, all of us need to know how to control the urge of speaking, and how to understand if there are individuals which are toxic, which are actually draining us down, then how we distance ourselves from such urges, such people. And if you are unintentionally, because I have got cases, I have been myself in those situations where I have been dragged into the situation where I'm not even related to. How do you practice? Either you can fight, which is okay if you do that, and if you, because there are times where you need to stand up for yourself, and there are times where you see that there is no purpose of doing these things, and you distance yourself, or you observe everything and you just keep a safe distance. So these are the things which one sadhaka can actually do. And especially try as much as you can, if you are a sadhaka hearing this, be authentic. Be authentic in a way that even if you are saying something where you need to hide things, but what is your intention behind doing that? Be on your path, that whatever you're doing, be straight about it. Not like pleasing this person, pleasing that person. Don't be like an eggplant. That is how it is. Don't try to please this person, don't try to please that person. Be authentic to what feels right to the Paramatma within, and what feels right to you when you are going to go in front of Krishna. So this was about the power of speech, which I wanted to discuss. And the other verse which we talked about, which was about confidentiality, which has a very impactful meaning with respect to whenever a person is sharing some secrets. Majorly a sadhaka, when they are sharing about some other devotee, some other relationship, it is about discouragement received or what has happened. So how the other individual can help that individual to rise above it. That is how Krishna consciousness and expressing confidentiality works. So I hope my video had a little bit of meaningful impact on your life. This was really a very big eye-opener for me too, because when again I started reading Nectar of Instruction, this actually helped me relate to my real life incidences which has happened, and how to come onto that layman language, because the Shastric words are very advanced. But if a devotee who is practicing Krishna consciousness for years or even just recently but has been doing some sincerity in their practices, they will be able to relate and find some guidance from the higher power. So thank you so much for listening and giving your time hearing this video. If there are any feedbacks, any comments, it is most welcome. And please let me know any other topics you want to discuss about. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.